everybody was up. So I planned on going live today to check out random news and any videos or whatnot. But y'all, my audio is low and distorted. Huh? Is that better? Is that better? Let me know if that's better. I want to make sure y'all can hear.
Is that better? Maybe because I stepped away from it. It's low and distorted. It's clear. It's still low. Huh. Okay. Is that better? I probably just need to cut the music down. My bad. May have been a matter of the music. Is that better? Yeah, it was the music. Okay, cool. Y'all, the FBI finally responded. So, about a month ago, I sent a FOIA request to the FBI. Awesome. Hey, Deborah, I didn't think anybody was up. I thought I would be doing this kind of blind. So you guys make sure you hit the like button because I see 2 people responding to me and there's 5 of y'all watching. So just hit the like button. Hey, Enrique, how you doing? Deborah, Candia. All right, y'all. 7 people watching. Listen. They finally responded. Okay. So brace yourselves because as you all can see, the letter on the screen. Now, it's a bit of good news inside of the disappointing news. And it's not disappointing to me because I know what it means and what it indicates. So, about a month ago, I did a FOIA request to the FBI to get the copy of the subpoena that was served to the Illinois DCEO. That's the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. That was pertaining to the youth grant from what they gave to Ciggey when Super was supervisor at Thornton Township, right? So this is what they responded to. Okay. Originally, I had gotten a letter back from them because I had did an expedite to the request, but the justification did not fit the parameters. We're dealing with the FBI. They're very technical. I was like, okay, well, is the general request still in place? They said, yes, here it is. Okay, so I'll scroll up. U.S. Department of Justice. I want to zoom in on this bad boy. And yes, I blacked out my address because we got weirdos and, people who cuss out women all the time and demons and stuff. Yeah, I didn't want anybody to have my address. So this letter dated June 30th, 2025. And this is my FOIA request number 1667502-000. Subject, Project B, Youth Violence Prevention 2024 FBI subpoena to Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. Dear Lady Luck, this responds to your Freedom of Information Privacy Act's request. Please see the paragraphs below for relevant information specific to your request, as well as the enclosed FBI FOIA addendum for standard responses applicable to all requests. The FBI has completed its search for records subject to the FOIA that are responsive to your request. The material you requested is located in an investigative file, which is exempt from disclosure pursuant to 5 U.S.C. Statute 552, Section B7A. 5 U.S.C. Statute 552 B7A exempts from disclosure records or information compiled for law enforcement purposes, but only to the extent that the production of such law enforcement records or information could reasonably be expected to interfere with enforcement proceedings. What does that mean? They're not saying no. They're saying we can't give them to you right now because of an investigation. The enforcement proceedings is still ongoing. And this is for the Project B Youth Violence Prevention. Because we all know that little girl and Ciggey did not keep a record of how that $100,000 grant was spent pertaining to Project B Youth Violence Prevention. They didn't keep not one receipt. Hell, they barely had an HR file on his ass. Right? So, this is now where, let me take this down. So this is now where they had to go to the Illinois DCEO to say, listen, they don't have any records over there at Thornton Township pertaining to this grant. So whatever you all gave them, awarded them, we need some records of that. That is what I was trying to get. The ENOA, like the electronic notice of award, the probably would have been like a budget template for the expenses, some guidelines, instructions on how to spend the money, what it was supposed to be going for, how to do the expense reports, those types of things. They were supposed to have like on-site inspector, as well as a compliance team for that project. And this coming from Big Pimpin' Al Kendall, because he told me that in text messages that I recorded and put in the video. Do y'all remember that? So in that video, I post up the text messages trying to get information on this grant from him. And he told me each grant awarded is supposed to come with a site inspector and a compliance liaison or a compliance team that's supposed to keep up with the financials, make sure that they're doing what the guidelines and the procedures have outlined for the grant when they are awarded the grant. But see, we all know none of that was done because Ciggey put the damn car wash address on the actual award application information. That is the stuff I was trying to get directly from the FBI because they had to get it from DCEO. So this indicates to me, hey, what's going on? Hey, Enrique. Hey, who else? Who else in here? I'm glad we got your sound worked out. As long as y'all can hear me, I'm good. Yes, please hit the like button and subscribe and turn on all notifications and everything else. Hey, GB. So this is an indication that the investigation, for the most part, regarding the youth grant is still ongoing. That is the only reason why they could not provide me with the records, because it would reasonably be expected to interfere with enforcement proceedings. They're not doing this for nothing. And this is why I keep telling people that FBI investigation has not ended. You gotta, when it comes to these types of allegations, especially when it's looking like they're investigating white collar crimes and financial crimes, possibly even RICO, it's not something that can just be done within a year or so. It takes time to do that because it involves a lot more forensic, accounting auditors, IT specialists. They claimed that they couldn't get, access to software programs at one point. You have so many working parts in this investigation that has to put the evidence together. They have to get the information. The fact that they had to go and subpoena the Illinois DCEO just to get information about this one grant. This is just one grant, y'all. This one grant given to them at Thornton Township pertaining to Ciggey himself. That speaks volumes. Imagine how many more grants or how much more funding they received from Cook County. Because this would have came from Cook County. That Big Pimpin' Al Kendall, when he come in those meetings talking about, hey, y'all, got some grants for you. Who wants some grants? He's such a pimp. He come in and he sitting here pimping out these grants, but they don't have any oversight. There's no site inspectors. There's no compliance reviews. They would have had that and discovered that Ciggey put the damn car wash address on the information if they had it. But that goes to show they didn't have any documentation at Thornton Township. So they had to go to Illinois DCEO to see what was there. And that is what I requested. I wanted the subpoena that was served to Illinois DCEO. And it's still under enforcement proceedings. So when I hear people saying, what's going on? Hey, RTS, how you doing? Hey, Bob, how you doing? What's going on? Hey, Jeff, what's happening? How y'all doing? So when I hear people saying, oh, well, there's nothing that's going to happen, here's proof. It's still happening. Enforcement proceedings are still ongoing. And this is just one part of that FBI investigation now. This is just for that youth grant from Thornton Township. This is the only reason why I didn't get the FBI subpoena and the documents. It's exempt because of the enforcement proceedings. They're still investigating this. So I told you all, I will send off the FOIA request. I got it. This is the response that came back. Yes, I blacked out my address. Crazy people in the world. So the records responsive to your request are law enforcement records. There is a pending or prospective law enforcement proceeding relevant to these responsive records, and release of the information could reasonably be expected to interfere with enforcement proceedings. Therefore, your request is being administratively closed. For a further explanation of this exemption, see the enclosed explanation of exemptions. So please refer to the enclosed FBI FOIA addendum for additional standard responses applicable to your request. Part 1 of the addendum includes standard responses that apply to all records. Part 2 includes additional standard responses that apply to all records for requests for records about yourself or any third-party individuals. Part 3 includes general information about FBI records that you might find useful. Also enclosed is our explanation of exemptions. So it's still an ongoing investigation, is basically what they're telling me. There's nothing to really dispute because I don't want them to stop. It would not make any sense for me to try to dispute it. I'm not an agency investigator. I'm not, there's no urgent matter to which I would need it right now. But the administrative closing of it doesn't mean that I cannot go back to say, once the investigation has come to some resolution, whether it leads to indictments or whether it's just, okay, well, we investigated, found nothing there, blah, blah, blah. Then I'll be able to go and follow up on this and get whatever records was there. But the fact that there were lack of records at Thornton Township and they had to go and get it from a government agency, that being Illinois DCEO, speaks volumes. They had to subpoena the agency that administered the actual grant. And this is for the $100,000 for that subject, Project B, youth violence prevention. So I was not playing, y'all. When I said I was going to get the FBI to do a FOIA with them, I meant what the hell I said. Don't come for the queen. Y'all, so as soon as I can get them, as soon as the enforcement proceedings has reached some resolution point, where I can get the records, hey, pop it in for a second. Hey, yay, good. Oh man, this is exciting. Hope all is well. It is well. Hope all is well with all of you. It is late. It's going on 2 a.m. my time, Eastern Standard Time. 39 people watching. Hit the like button, y'all. So as soon as I can, I will go ahead and get the records, the information that they receive from the Illinois DCEO. You guys have to remember that Big Pimpin' Now Kendall did not really follow up on making sure that there were, some sort of compliance and any site inspectors that were out. because it's not just Thornton that received grants, right? I mean, it's what under Thornton Township is 17 municipalities underneath them. So you got to imagine all of them getting grants. How are they keeping up with what's going on with the money? So if they can't keep up with $100,000 with Ciggey's ass, and he didn't even barely have an HR file, imagine how that would have gone throughout the rest of the municipalities. Crazy. And he keeps coming to these meetings talking about, hey, I got some grants for you. Got some hot grants, cold grants. What kind of grants you looking for? Where's pimping ass? And it's like, dude, you're not maintaining records. You send, what they do is they send a budget expense report template. And that was part of the process he explained to me in the text messages. So you guys go into the SS playlist and you'll see Big Pippin Al Kendall text messages when I was asking him for this same information that he could not provide because they didn't have records of it. Or he claims they didn't have records of it, even though the FBI got what they could out of it from the DCEO. So he claimed that the packets include the template for the budget reports, how to do the expenses. So if they go out and get a vendor or contractor, of course, they get invoices. They're supposed to, have a subcontract attached, an RFP with a subcontract with that vendor. Any invoice billings, if they go out and buy stuff for the project itself, they're supposed to keep the receipts and expense everything out from that $100,000. That includes from salary to materials and everything else in between. The site inspector was supposed to go to the sites. The site inspector was supposed to go to the site of the address listed on the application. How the hell you do that? And it comes up at a car wash and you never know that? Big Pimpin' Al Kendall. That's what really irritated me about this clown. Because I said, there is no way you guys are sending out site inspectors out to the address on the application if it's not the same address as Thornton Township, where it basically goes to the government entity where the award is being granted to. So the way this was set up, it was, okay, this is on behalf of Thornton Township, Project B, Youth Violence Prevention, but the site itself for where the kids are going to be, where the actual engagement is supposed to occur, was supposed to be a separate location based on the application. That's where Ciggey put down the damn car wash address. How do you keep track of that if you don't send people out there, or at least someone to compliance, look at the information, and then the site inspector goes out to the site? That never happened. It's crazy. So, let's get some questions. Thank you. Listen, it's been a month or so. I thought they forgot. I was like, yay, they just email. I was finally able to check my emails, y'all. I'm up late. Prima, hey Prima, how you doing? What's going on? So is it Big Pimpin' in the spotlight as well? More than likely, if he is over the project and he's responsible, because he's the one out at these meetings, right? From my understanding, he told me in the text messages, and I'll put up the video in a second, actually, of the text messages. I recorded it and put it in a video. And from my understanding, it was the compliance team. There's like a compliance team and a site inspector assigned to each project. But he's the one that's kind of like out overseeing the program. And then he goes out and recruits for, I guess, these projects or whatever at the Dalton and Thornton Township meetings. And it's not just Dalton and Thornton. He goes to all the municipalities. So he works under Tony Prerickle, is my understanding. The FBI is going to have to go outside agencies for a lot of information at the rate the ESS kept records. Exactly. They didn't keep any. They didn't even have an HR file for Ciggey. It was like 2 pages. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if he's listed on the application itself, then I'll at least be able to see how much he was getting paid, because his salary should be listed on the expense report for the project. So I would have been able to see at least how much the project was paying him for salary expenses. That's something that they had to subpoena from DCEO, which is what I was asking for a copy of. That's still under this investigation, basically. The enforcement proceedings. Yep. So I would have been able to see all of that, but it would have came straight from DCEO that administered the actual grant and facilitated the payment to Thornton Township. So if he only has two pieces of paper in his HR file, then the question would be, how the hell is this money being deposited here? How did this go? I hope they didn't just give them one big disbursement to go into some random account he had access to. But it seems like that's what happened, right? As opposed to it going to an account that Thornton Township controlled. It may have, and this is just my theory on this, it may have went to an account that she controlled, that she gave him access to, because the trustees didn't even know how the money was being spent. And it didn't seem like they had access to see the transactions from the account the money was deposited to, which is crazy, because that money was not for Ciggey, it was for Thornton Township. So why didn't it go to an account that the trustees had access to? I don't understand. But that's exactly what seems to me happened. Because when they tried to go to them at Thornton Township, when the FBI wanted to go and get the information from them, they told them they didn't have it. That's what led them to have to go to Illinois DCEO. But DCEO should have on file, the awardee, who's over the director over the grant, what their salary was going to be, and then a breakdown of the expenses that they typically expect to see based on the guidelines of the actual grant itself. So if you're saying this is for the youth, they're expecting at least salaries and something related to whatever is required for you to do whatever it is they're claiming they're doing. So if they're saying these kids come in every day for like 3 hours a day to get tutorial and homework help and help with doing college applications, then you expect a lot of clerical, administrative type expenses related to that. If you're saying that the kids are going to be doing some paintings, then you expect a lot of artistic, creative, craft and supplies and those types of things, expenses related to that. It's the scope of whatever they claim that these youth were doing is what you kind of expect to see as the guidelines for the expenses. Does that make sense? You can't say these kids are going to be coming here washing cars, but then you're paying vendors to go out and lay a sidewalk. That doesn't fall within the scope of the project. So they didn't even really have that. And when they were asked by the news, it came up in the article. That's when Gonzalez told the news, well, they told us it was supposed to be helping them get college scholarships or something with college. He didn't even know. So that gives me the indication Thornton Township had no idea what the scope of this project was related to the youth and what exactly they will be doing, especially if Ciggey put down a car wash address on the application and the documents. So they failed at Thornton Township, and they failed when it came to the commissioner's office, making sure a site inspector went out to that address on the documentation. You're talking about youth here. You're talking about some kids. So if you're claiming that they're washing cars, okay, yeah, but that's not what it was for. You got conflicting stories about what exactly the project was for. It was either to help with college scholarships, or it was help with homework and tutorial, or it was supposed to be with teaching kids how to type and use laptops to build software programs. Like, you expect the expenses to match the project. And then the guidelines would have been related to that. And then you include salaries and supplies. If it's something where something needs to be built, then that should have been a separate budget. So each item needed, like a salary budget, the material supplies budget, each category has its own budget and expense account with it. It seems like all of that money went to one account that Little Stupid and Ciggey controlled. And Thornton Township had no idea. Because they couldn't even say what they did. But DCEO would know. They at least would know what they awarded. Whether they got back those expense reports, I don't know. And if they did, how thorough were they? And did it align up with the $100,000? We don't know if they went over the amount, asked for additional funds. We don't know any of that. And I know darn well they didn't have a site inspector go out to check to see, okay, we got this address here for a car wash on this document. Someone should have been out, according to Al Kendall, going out to the site based on the address and checking for it. That didn't happen. It couldn't have, because they would have saw the discrepancy and then they would have went out there and saw, this is a car wash. Why these kids here? So that is the same information the FBI was trying to gather. And that's why they had to subpoena the ILCD DCEO. It's crazy, y'all. And it's still under enforcement proceedings. So that gives me hope in knowing that the investigation is still ongoing, at the very least, regarding this project for the youth grant. And they're not playing, because that would have been easy money right there. And if they would have done the right thing, it wouldn't be this difficult. But you got a whole government entity that has no idea how $100,000 was spent, no idea who the hell Ciggey is, no HR file. So how did he get his paycheck? You don't have payroll. You don't have any. Did he get benefits? How did this go? You have salaries, you have benefits and things of that nature factored into it. So how did any of this go? So when I was telling you, oh man, when I told y'all I was excited about this, if I would have been able to get this information, but I knew once they sent over the letter saying that this is not urgent, but the regular standard request is still open, I said, okay, well, they're probably still doing this investigation, and I'll be darned to y'all. The FBI is going to have to go outside to outside agencies for a lot of information at the rate. Yes, they more than likely they can go to the Department of Revenue, definitely to the IRS, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of discrepancies there. Super Stupid don't seem like she's the type that pay her taxes. So let me just be honest about that. Patricia said the youth grant come through the school. The youth grant came through Thornton Township through their youth department. But after that, then, it kind of just got lost in the melee. But that's what the compliance and the site inspectors were supposed to be there for, to ensure there's certain guidelines based on what this program is supposed to be doing that they should have followed. It didn't seem like they followed that, because Thornton Township had nothing to provide to the FBI when they were subpoenaed last year. So he put down the address of the car wash, his raggedy ass Rock Island car wash. Yeah, he had that address listed on the documents, and not at least the address of Thornton Township Town Hall. So it's just fishy all around. So let's see. More like due to the way she started the records. Yeah, she never kept records. And they give you a budget template so that you can kind of, I'm gonna try to pull up YouTube. They give you like a template, and really all you have to do is just plug in the numbers and the information and whatnot. But I don't think they really did that. So it's crazy how they kind of was just really lax with all of that. Very lax with that. Let me see. I'm gonna try to go find this video of Al Kendall's thing. It should be under her playlist, because I did a video. I recorded the text messages so that you guys could see. I tried to get information out of him. He didn't know nothing. Go figure. And Thornton Township didn't have anything. That's why the FBI had to go out to the Illinois DCEO to get stuff, because they asked for that information in the subpoena that was served to Thornton Township last year in April. They didn't get that, so of course they had to go to DCEO that administered the award. And I'm gonna pull up his text messages, were all over the place. I'm asking him specifically about the expenses. Of course, he's gonna act like he didn't know what I was talking about. Just so weird. He's such a pimp. Oh, where's the playlist? Hold on. Hold on. Okay. So this is pretty much the full request here. Of course they're gonna, leave the lingual in there if you want to do a dispute to it, which right now would be futile. I want them to finish the enforcement proceedings, so it would be futile to even dispute it. But if I wanted to, they would, they have the information here to dispute resolution services through the FBI directly by emailing our FOIA public liaison, and that's the email there. Contact the Office of Government Information Services. And did I get a point of contact? They didn't give me a point of contact. Wait a minute. No, they didn't give me a point of contact. They just gave me a general email. Or I can file an administrative appeal, which to me, like I said, would be kind of futile right now because I want them to finish. But if I did, I would have to do it within 90 days of the date of this letter. So, I want them to finish. All right. I really want them to finish up this investigation. I'm going to go this enforcement proceeding. I'm going to go down to Big Pimpin' Al Kendall, so you all can see why I went over his head. Said, you know what? Screw this. I'm just going to ask the FBI to send me a copy. I ain't got time for him. I'm just send my FOIA request to the FBI directly because he going to get on my nerve. He dodging questions and stuff, just simple stuff. So, I felt that becoming very aggravating. So I went over his head. Yep, I sure did. Let's see here. I'm scrolling down. Here it is. So I'm gonna pause this. Hold on. Let me see. You guys can see. I just want to show you all. We watched the video. I checked out the video here. I was in Alicia Nicole's live stream when the meeting was going on. It was a Thornton Township meeting. This is like, I guess, right after Super Stupid loss or something like that. So I reacted to the meeting. I thought I put up the text message. I didn't put up the text message. Oh, hold on. I got text messages. Hold on one second, y'all, because I'm gonna pull this up. Let me go to my post. Might be on my post. Because I posted up all the text messages. If not, then it's definitely in the video. Hold on. Then I had a really good day today. CoffeeZilla went live, y'all. And I worked late, still working late. Hold on. But I want to show you all what I asked them for. Hold on. I'm still waiting on the body camera footage for that too. Bear with me 1 second. So this is where I did it a month ago. Y'all see this post here? Hey y'all, the FOIA request is still in process. That was about a month ago. So I'm trying to make sure I got. This is when I first did the request. That's funny. I'm gonna pull it up because it's gonna drive me nuts if I don't see it. Oh Lord. No, I don't see it. Okay. I gotta have it in a video. This is an article that I had posted up of him, Al Kendall, with harassment allegations in the workplace. He was fired at one point. I don't know what the heck happened with that. Then all of a sudden he's back, and it's just kind of like, what are we doing here? um, okay, it's got to be in my video. Okay, it sounds weird because she was asking him some questions for me because I just I was like, dude, the information you giving. First, he told me to go to the AG, and I was like, hell no, you know who you talking to? Okay, here it is. Communication. Here it is. I'm just gonna scroll. Okay, so here's the information here, and I'll just show you all where he told me he was supposed to have, like, site inspectors and all of that good stuff. I just let it play. So these are the text messages, y'all. I don't know if y'all can see this. It's kind of far away, but this is the video here. It's entitled Communications with Al Kendall Regarding Grant Information on the little SS playlist. But you guys can see, he sent me all this information for me to call into a radio station once a week. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. Just tell me what the financials are. This is so weird. But I think it was because they didn't have anything. At least he didn't have anything, because whomever the FBI had to serve had to be someone in the records department. So if you guys check out this video, you'll see he basically was telling me in these text messages, all the protocols as far as the site inspector and the compliance team. So, and then he gives this little lingo up here. See that? We have our own compliance. Y'all see here? We have our own compliance department and site monitors. I don't know if I can make it bigger. That's as big as it gets. Yeah, God. So if you guys go check out, it says right here, we have our own compliance department and site monitors. So if you guys go to the video, you'll see where he said that himself. And this is supposed to be for every project that's granted. Doesn't matter where. Each municipality, for every project, they have their own site monitors and compliance department that's supposed to go and monitor the program, make sure they're in compliance, following the guidelines. They're supposed to turn in their budget reports, I think, either once a month or once a week. None of that was happening. So you guys make sure you check out. Let me put the link to that video in the chat, so that way you guys can go straight to it and see why I had to end up, okay. See why I had to end up what the heck is going on? What is this doing? Okay. All right. There you go. This is why I had to do the FOIA for the FBI for the subpoena. So, okay, let's read some comments. I'm not gonna keep you guys too long. I just had to share this because I was so excited. Um, GB more like it due to the way she started the records. Okay, I saw that. The grant was given to Tiffany at the Thornton Township. Yeah, and it was supposed to be for the youth program, so it should have been falling under their youth department. And she put Ciggey as the director. And then that's when he put the car wash on the documents because he's dumb. Big Al Pimp and Kendall was not keeping track of a damn thing. Y'all, I'm gonna tell you that right now. Hey Prima, hey Nita. Oh man. She kept them records off campus so she could say she ain't having nothing to do when it came for looking. Yeah. I mean, you know, seems like the only person she really looking out for herself, aside from herself, rather, is Ciggey. Like the rest of them can burn. I don't care. She damn sure didn't care about the trustees, but if you hear Gonzalez talk about that or read the article where he was asked about it, it just kind of comes off like, why do you not know this? Like, you should know what they were doing with that youth program. You should know that. It shouldn't have been a thing where the mayor solely and strictly knew what was going on, but none of the trustees could say exactly what they did. Like nothing. Couldn't say nothing. Did they find them? Kandia. Okay. I have no idea. Just speculating. Gotcha. Hey. Great job. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate it. Let's see. She seems like someone that would be used as a scapegoat. She talks so much, the goons probably made sure to not let her know where they was really keeping the stuff, so she wouldn't tell the location. I honestly think if she knew, she would just throw everybody underneath the bus either way. But then that would raise the question: why would they lie about where it is or what's going on with it? Because Gonzalez said he didn't know. He said, I have no idea. I think they do college recruitment or something with college applications. That could be further from the truth. That little stuff like that is like, why do you not know? All the trustees should know because they're in charge of the money. And that project will still have to have, you know, uh, approval from the board and approval through the program to ensure that the funds are being spent the way they should be. So basically, they will have to follow whatever guidelines it is on how to spend that money. Question is, did they do it? Which I highly doubt, because they wouldn't be able to even set up the salaries information correctly because Ciggey didn't have an HR file. How was he paid? How did he get benefits? Like, you don't have an HR file at all. That's crazy. So GBC, I saw a write up somewhere about this expense. If I'm remembering correctly, most of the money was used for administration, payroll, lawn services, kids, a class with the fire department. I mean, I would love to see that. Was it on I know Q was able to get something. Maybe she has some information with the youth program. I can reach out to her and see if she'll provide a copy, but I was wanting whatever was initially sent over to Thornton Township from DCEO, and I knew the best way to get it was to do the FOIA to the FBI. Because if nothing else, the FBI is going to go straight to DCEO, who administered the grant. And then that way we can see the expectations of it and what it is that they were tasked to do and what they put down as far as the plan for that youth program, for that contract. What was the goal of getting this money? What did they plan on doing with it? Because I'm sure it didn't involve him putting down his car wash address. Them kids that do no car washing. So that's the link, you guys, for that video. And you can just see the text messages if you can. Just kind of zoom in. Hit the thumbs up, y'all. Like, definitely hit the like. Hit the like button. Trying to get to 30,000 subs. And definitely want these videos to stay up in rotation, you guys. It took a minute to get this FBI response, but we got it. And we can be assured that they are still carrying through the enforcement proceedings and the investigation is still ongoing. Peter said in the end, Tiffin, that food boyfriend will be in prison. Yeah. Because I mean, he's the recipient, right? So that makes him culpable, especially if he wants to walk around pretending like he didn't know that putting the car wash address on it would be bad. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to fool them. And the FBI, they don't like it when you go in there talking about willful ignorance and tactical stupidity. No, no, you didn't understand. Like Big Pimpin said, you had a compliance department and a site inspector. Good luck to that. Like he had so many opportunities to learn, child. So now the FBI is like, oh, okay, we see you coming, Pimpin. Yeah, you keep on acting like you don't know who we are. So, y'all, I am excited. I am excited. So these are just some additional information for the addendum. Um, the standard responses below apply to all requests. So the standard responses below apply to all requests for on individuals. And I was requesting the information from an agency basically. So um it will have individuals listed in it, but yeah, general info records, record searches and standard security search policy, FBI records, foreseeable harm standard. Um, of course, they're not going to release anything they foresee to be harmful, and they go into criminal matters and stuff like that. So, and then some footnotes on certain definitions so that you guys can understand if you read it, understand what these letters and stuff like so. Anything like B1, B2, B3 before it, like you guys can see throughout the document what that's pertaining to. So it's still going, y'all. It's still going. I'm excited. I just wish to God they would hurry the hell up. But let let them finish because we're hoping for prison time. So don't rush it. Don't rush it. Um, yeah, Ciggey, you got some explaining to do. Where the hell you at, bro? And now Super Stupid has what? 3 or 4 court hearings between today and tomorrow. Yeah, good luck to that. Oh man. The kids' parents went to TT stating their kids never got paid their money. That was on the record though. Oh wow. So they were supposed to give out salaries to the kids as well. Ooh, child, they better write over to the Illinois DCEO and let them know that, man, they will be so mad to have to give out double the amount just to make sure the kids get paid. That's so crazy. Um, Peter, hey Peter. In the end, Tiff and that fool boyfriend will be in prison. GB, the kids' parents went to TT stating their kids never got paid. A knows, how you doing? ILC and everyone just tuning in. What's going on? I know it's late. Tiffany always said in TT and Dalton she didn't have to account for grants. No, she had to account for it because they give you a spreadsheet for the budget reports that you're supposed to submit. I want to say every week, considering the fact that there were, I guess, kids on salary that had to turn in like hours and stuff like that. So I want to say that they had to submit that over every week, but definitely once a month. Right before budget season starts. So they would have had to turn over something. But what I think what they're doing is, okay, if you guys don't have it over here, as far as what was spent, we'll go to DCEO and see what you were granted and what the parameters were to which you were, whatever you were supposed to do with that money. So if you put down you're building a basketball court, then the expenses we see need to be related to that basketball court. That's what I'm curious to know. Because why the hell would he just put the car wash address down and no one noticed? No one noticed? Like, it's so weird. The trustees. Wait, hold on. Hold on, what you say? She didn't have to count. Okay, yeah, she lied. She's a big ass lie. I don't believe that come out her mouth. Chabu. To the trustee, she said that. Hey, knows 10, I think. Hey, LLC in chat. What's going on, Skeeter? I know it's late, you guys. Thank you all for tuning in, though. So the FBI has responded, and they are still ongoing with the enforcement proceedings. The investigation is still going on. This was the most recent subpoena that they issued out, and it was after they issued the ones for Dalton and Thornton. So I'm excited. I'm excited. Just feeling good and knowing that they have not lost energy in doing this investigation. Is still going, it's still happening. And I do believe that there's going to be some indictments. Yep. What I would be mad about is if there's some indictments and she's convicted and then no one wants to send her to prison. I don't understand. But this is the full response, y'all. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm gonna let them finish off and do what they need to do. Hopefully they'll let me know when they've come to some reasonable conclusion. But if not, we'll just follow the news to see when they're going to probably come to the end. So that way we can reinitiate the request and get the documents again, because it won't be a part of an enforcement anymore. So this is something else. This is something else. I appreciate you all so much. This is a lot of fun. This is part of that reporting and research that I just thoroughly enjoy doing for you guys, and thinking about putting this in the members only. Maybe I just let it sit for a couple days, then put it up there, because I want to make sure that you guys have some exclusive information that everybody don't have, because you're my members and I love ya. All right. Hey, Buck baby, how you doing? What's going on? All right, y'all. So, judging by this, we should be at least a little hopeful in knowing that the investigation is still happening. All right. I need you all to hit that like button. It's time to start breaking it out with the views. Please make sure you share the video as well, and subscribe, become a member, all of those good things. I appreciate you all so much. I will be going live. I might be taking a day off because I'm still up and it's hot in my house and I'm tired. But I just definitely need to get some rest. I saw a write up somewhere about this expense. If I'm remembering correctly, most of the money was used for administration, payroll, lawn services, kids, a class with fire. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm reading the same thing over and over again. Okay, y'all, that's all I got. Yay, we're excited. We're excited. So make sure you guys check out that video of the messages back and forth between me and Big Pimpin', who got on my nerve, and that way you could get a full understanding of why I had to go this route, because he ain't no shit. So and we'll be back tomorrow with reacting to random news. Yay. So you guys go get some sleep, and that's all I got for this. I am very excited. Thank you all so much for tuning in this late, and I will see you all in the next one. Lady, look out. Deuces. Good night.